Hi guys, it is Tracy from TMC Coaching and you are watching a live episode of From the Garage. Happy Monday to you. I hope you had a great weekend. Looking forward to a great week. Now, I want to begin this week by speaking to you about something that I'm very, very passionate about, something that I enjoy talking about, something that I love. It's a pain point that I love solving for businesses. Have you ever left a job because of someone you worked with? You couldn't get along with them and you had to leave. Maybe you left a job because someone you had to work for. That's also horrible, but it does happen, right? In TMC Coaching, the coaching business that I operate, I love satisfying the attrition rates and lowering those attrition rates, the turnover for my clients. Now, before we can really discuss attrition and what those rates are all about and everything, we got to understand what we're talking about. You say, well, Tracy, what is an attrition rate? Well, think of an attrition rate as employee turnover. The definition of attrition or attrition rate is basically the number of individuals leaving your business over a given period of time. And as business owners, we recognize that to lose a staff member that's been there a year or two or even a couple of months is going to be very costly. It's going to cost a business owner a lot of money because of the training, because of the uniform, and many other things that people are going to take from us as the business owner. And now they worked for us for 2 weeks, they got their first paycheck, and now they're gone. We got to stop that cycle. So you've got to put measures in place as the business owner if you hope to reduce the turnover rate. Now, if your attrition is high, it's an indicator. And by the way, there's a formula for, and you can just Google it. Just Google attrition rate, and you're going to find out, how do I find out what my attrition rate is? Is it good? Is it bad? I'll leave that to you, or maybe in another episode, I'll bring that one. But for right now, I want to discuss that attrition rate. If it is high, it is an indication that there's something sinister in play. Why are people leaving your business? Maybe they say they're leaving your business because they're seeking better benefits. Well, if that's the case, problem solved, right? Because we can go back to our benefits that we offer and say, okay, we're going to offer this, we're going to offer this. If you're in the quick food service industry, possibly it's an employee meal that you can add on as a benefit. Or maybe if the employee meal is only $4, $5, you can increase that to $8 or $9. And that's an added benefit even for your part-time help. Full-time help, consider what benefits you're offering and how much you're willing to pay extra in order to keep those employees around. Good help, as they say, is hard to find. Maybe they're not saying it's better benefits. Maybe they're just saying, I'm looking for a larger salary. I found this job and now I'm going to take this job because I'm going to make more money. Well, as the business owner, we can go back and reconsider, are our wages still competitive in the marketplace today so that we can keep our good health? A third reason why people would say that they might be leaving our businesses is because they're simply burned out. They want to try their hand in something new. Now, this is my belief. This is my belief, and you'll discover this if you are in the practice of conducting what's called an exit interview. And by the way, I highly recommend it. When you conduct an exit interview, you can find out where the holes are at. How are you losing people? You're dripping employment. How are you leaking in the employment area? How is your attrition rate so high? If you'll conduct a exit interview, you'll ask the right questions. And when you begin to ask the right questions, you begin to discover that the reasons of the better benefits, the larger salaries, or I'm just burned out, I'm just kind of bored, or whatever, I'm not challenged enough, or whatever that they said are actually secondary. What you might discover is that you have a people problem, a relationship issue. Maybe they're leaving because of another coworker. And you wouldn't know that unless you conduct the interview and you ask the right questions. They're leaving because they can't get along with so-and-so, or so-and-so's been mistreating them, and here it is their last day. You conducted an exit interview and you found out, oh my goodness, you're leaving because this individual, well, that individual's not going to be here very long, or why didn't you tell me about that earlier? Maybe they're leaving, when you boil it down, because they just don't like the manager that they have to serve under. Maybe they're leaving because of you and me, the business owner. Well, if that's the problem, we need to do something about that. I'm convinced that what leadership expert John Maxwell writes about in his book, Leadership Gold, people quit people, not companies. Think about it. For you and I, if we went back and we retraced our employment steps, how many jobs we've had and how many of them did we leave because of a relationship issue? Well, how can a leader stop this cycle? Get this, 65% of those that leave a job in America claim that it was an issue with one of their managers. That's a leadership issue. And we all understand everything rises and falls on leadership. Consider this also. In America, the average employee will only serve their employer for 4 years. Whoa, that's amazing. On average. Now you're thinking right now, go back and think about how many are working for you that are in their second or third, or now they're pushing that 4-year mark. If they follow the trend, the average, you may not have them for very long. So we got to do something about that. Now, it's okay if you're not scared about the average employee only staying around about 4 years. You're not afraid of that. It's maybe because you only plan on being in business for 4 years. Hey, if that's you, that's okay. But it's probably not. If you're like me, I want to build a legacy in my business, and I want to make impact in my community. Well, in order to do that, I'm going to have to keep the same team members that I have for a longer time. How am I going to keep them for longer? Think about it from a customer perspective. And I'm only going to I'm trying to help you with the importance of lowering your attrition rate. It's important from the customer's perspective. When the customer comes in, let's say you're a quick service industry, or maybe you're in the retail business, and your customers come in, the same customers, but they always see new faces. Think about what the last time you went to a business and you saw new face after new face and never a familiar face. New faces to customers means they're in training. They don't know where things are at. They don't know how to ring me up. They certainly don't know my favorite order. They don't even know my name. There's no relationship built here because it's somebody new. And guess what it means also? Somebody new, still in training, unfortunately, they assume it's going to be a bad experience because they don't know what they're doing yet. Also, from the customer's point of view, when we have such a revolving door of people coming in and going out in our employment, and our attrition rate is so high, it makes our customers and our clients believe it's not a very good place to work. And if we can't keep our help, maybe they're going to take their business elsewhere. And in the world that we live in today, there's probably 5 other places they could take their business besides us. So we got to do something about this. Something's got to be done, and it has to start with you and I, the business owner. Our leadership. In order to retain your staff, I want to offer to you 5 suggestions. Now, there's several, but I'm only going to offer you 5 that'll just get you going, okay? So the first thing that you and I, as business owners or in higher, even mid-level management, the first thing that we need to do is so important. We need to highly value every team member every day. Highly value them. That means appreciating them. That means that when you come through the crowd, you're walking slowly, you're meeting them, you're calling them by name. And that's special. Think about how important a person's name is, and you know their name, not because you read their name tag, but because you know who they are. You know something about their family. And catch them doing something good. Catch them doing something right rather than something wrong, and give them a little bit of praise. That's valuing those that work for you. Secondly, always be honest with all your team. Always be honest. Nobody wants to work for a dishonest employer or a dishonest manager. When they ask for the day off, you said that it can have the day off, comes down for the schedule, and now they don't have that day off. They look at that as, you're not trustworthy. I can't depend upon you. Well, you can't be untrustworthy for very long and still retain your employees. A third suggestion that I want to offer to you to retain your staff, not only do you value them and you're honest with them, but number 3, develop yourself every day. Developing yourself every day that basically I want to follow a strong leader. I want to follow somebody that I can learn from. And I'm going to tell you this, the team member, if you have good team members follow you, what they do is they push you to grow yourself so that you have something to turn around and offer them. Here's the thing. Your team members are only going to follow an incompetent leader for so long before they want to go somewhere else, which leads me to number 4. This is it. Find ways to motivate and inspire your team. There are so many ways. This is how Employee of the Month parking comes into play. This is how Employee of the Month gift card or a little bonus on their check. This is how, hey, you bring somebody into the team. We want to inspire you to stay here. You bring them in. They stay for 3 months. We're going to give you a bonus on your check. I know one business just this last week throughout the whole COVID-19. After it was all done, basically things are now starting to open up for business. They rewarded all their team for having an entire weekend. Their whole weekend, they offered an ice cream bar at any time. When you're on break, you're just coming in, you're just leaving your shift, you can have this unlimited ice cream bar. I mean, all of the goodies that were there. I mean, Heath toppings and Nestle's Crunch toppings and the chocolate syrup and the caramel syrup and the sprinkles, all that stuff. I mean, the whole fixin'. You know what that leader was doing? That operator, that owner, was inspiring and motivating the team members to stay here. We're offering something to you. A final way that I want to give you now, this is not all that there is, but at least to get you started. You're going to value your team. You're going to be honest with them. You're going to inspire them and motivate them. You're going to grow yourself. One last way of retaining your employees to keep them with you a little bit longer is be secure as the leader. Now, security as the owner is so important. You know why? Because you've hired directors and leaders to do a work that you can't do because you can't be everywhere all at the same time. You may have expectations for them, and certainly you want to communicate that to them, but a secure leader empowers their team, their mid-level managers, to do the job. So be secure as a leader. And if you're in mid-level management, your team members, those that are your subordinates underneath you that are following you, they will be able to smell whether or not you're insincere and insecure. You know why? Because an insecure leader is always trying to seek position and they don't mind who they step on to get there. An insecure leader is always wanting the glory, the recognition for themselves. And an insecure leader wants to keep all the power, never empowering somebody else. So do yourself a favor. Try to take on yourself in these 5 areas. Just start there. You will see so much of a difference in your leadership, and you'll start to see your attrition rates begin to lower and lower and lower. You're going to start to see your customer satisfaction scores begin to go higher, and you know what that means? You got more team members, that means less outgo. You're keeping the same team members, that means you have more money. You're bringing in satisfaction scores, making them higher, that means you're bringing in more customers. It means an elevated in profit. And that's why you're in business. You're in business to make a profit and make an impact. Look around your team today. Find somebody doing something right and let them know how much you appreciate it. By the way, we can all use a little bit of praise in the world we live today. Thank you for joining me today on From the Garage. Until next time, be well.